Macmillan Audio presents Brainstorm, read for you by William Dufris and Helen Litchfield.
Welcome to Brainstorm. I'm Mariette DiChristina, Executive Editor at Scientific American Magazine and Scientific American Mind. We've called the program you're about to hear Brainstorm because all of us have experienced moments of inspiration and wonder. Times in our lives when the creative juices are flowing and everything just seems to click. But it's not easy to know when or if those moments will come and what, if anything, helps us to be more creative. The 4 articles you are about to hear appeared in Scientific American, and each of these articles takes a close look at creativity and problem solving and the ways in which psychologists and neuroscientists are thinking about creativity, and even finding ways to help all of us to be more creative in our own lives. Following the 4 articles, you'll hear a roundtable discussion in which I ask 3 panelists, psychologists Robert Epstein and John Houts, and writer Julia Cameron, to take us through some of the specific steps and changes we can make in our own lives that can help us all be more creative in business and in our day-to-day living. Whether you're an aspiring artist seeking inspiration, an employer looking to boost creativity in the workplace, an educator looking for ways to inspire your students, or a parent looking for ways to help your children grow intellectually, a better understanding of creativity and the ways in which each of us can harness our creative powers to improve our world will benefit all of us.
Unleashing creativity. Moments of brilliance arise from complex cognitive processes. Piece by piece, researchers are uncovering the secrets of creative thinking. By Ulrich Kraft. Jancy Chang, a high school art teacher in San Francisco, had been painting since she was a child. She varied her technique from Western-style watercolors to classical Chinese brushstrokes, but she always strove for realism, painting landscapes and people in social settings as literally as she could. Then, in 1986, at age 43, she began to have problems performing her job. Grading, preparing for class, putting together lesson plans, everything that she had previously done with ease became increasingly difficult over the next few years. By 1995, she could no longer remember the names of her students and was forced to take early retirement. Understandably frightened, Chang had started seeing neurologist Bruce L. Miller, clinical director of the Memory and Aging Center at the University of California at San Francisco. He diagnosed her with frontotemporal dementia. This relatively rare form of dementia selectively damages the temporal and frontal lobes, primarily in the brain's left hemisphere. These regions control speech and social behavior and are intimately involved in memory. Patients often become introverted, exhibit compulsive behaviors, and lose inhibitions that would otherwise prevent them from acting inappropriately toward others in social settings. Miller observed all these changes in Chang, but he also found that her creative powers were growing remarkably. The more she lost her social and language abilities, the wilder and freer her art became, he notes. The same lack of inhibition that caused embarrassing moments in public allowed her to break the shackles of her realism art training and become increasingly impressionistic and abstract. Her paintings were much more emotionally charged. Miller was astonished. The last place he expected talent to bloom was in the brain of a person whose mental functions were deteriorating because of crumbling neurons. But it turned out that Chang was not an isolated case. Miller later identified other men and women whose latent creativity burst forth as frontotemporal dementia set in, even in patients who had little prior interest in artistic pursuits. One man, a stockbroker who had never before been touched by the muse, traded his conservative suits for the most radical styles he could find. He developed a passion for painting and went on to win several art prizes. Another person began to compose music, even though he had no musical training. A third invented a sophisticated chemical detector at a stage when he could recall only 1 in 15 words on a memory test. The ability to create is one of the outstanding traits of human beings. From harnessing fire to splitting the atom, an inexhaustible stream of innovative flashes has largely driven our social
Sample complete. Ready to continue?